The world of Destiny 2 is constantly evolving. This never-ending change makes it difficult to create informational videos that are valid for more than a couple of weeks at best. To work around this, I'm planning to make monthly recap videos like this one to cover a lot of the bigger changes in Destiny 2. This isn't intended to be a comprehensive list of everything that has happened over the past month. It's more of a quick summary for players who might have missed out on some of the recent updates. Without further ado, let's talk about Destiny 2 in February 2021. Season 13, known as Season of the Chosen, began on February 9th and will end on May 11th. With the changing season, we received a new area within the tower as well as a new playlist activity. The new Battlegrounds activity is a huge improvement over the previous season's hunts. For anyone who missed Season of the Hunt, the entire seasonal activity revolved around charging your lure within strikes, Crucible, and Gambit, then having about a 4-minute boss battle. Battlegrounds, on the other hand, consists of fighting wave after wave of Cabal enemies until eventually fighting a boss, then breaking open a chest with a big hammer. One thing I really like about this activity is the waves of enemies. It's so satisfying to shoot things in Destiny 2, and I'm never going to be upset about having an activity that involves shooting lots of things. Please continue giving us lots of things to shoot, Bungie. One oddity you may have noticed if you own Season of the Hunt is that the Crow has developed a case of Stockholm Syndrome. The final story arc for Season of the Hunt was our Guardian releasing Crow from the service's spider. One would think this would lead to Crow spreading his wings and venturing out into the wide world. Instead, he decided to remain in his little room within Spider's lair. Bungie gave us an explanation on this strangeness, and it's actually good news for players. Previously, when a season ended, the activity for that season went away completely. Bungie has now changed this system so that seasonal activities remain throughout the entire year. This change came a little late in the story development for Season 12, so that is why Crow can still be found within the Spider's lair, while also hanging around the Helm. Bungie stated that future seasonal activities have planned around this extension, and we shouldn't see any more cases of conflicting story points going forward. Last season, Bungie reintroduced the Hawk Moon hand cannon from Destiny 1. This season, Bungie has given us a new scout rifle named Dead Man's Tale. This scout is a lever action Tex Mechanica design and is just plain fun to shoot. One questionable aspect of the rifle is that the gun can drop with random rolls. We saw this same quality with Hawk Moon, and it made some sense with that gun due to the random nature of the perk in Destiny 1. It's strange to see random perks start popping up on new exotics, and I'm personally hoping this doesn't continue. I like having curated and special rolls on exotic weapons, so I'm just not a fan of the idea of farming for specific roles on exotics. I do enough farming for legendary weapons. If you haven't earned Dead Man's Tale yet, all it takes is the completion of a new mission named Presage. In one of my previous videos, I lamented the loss of the fantastic The Whisper and 0 Hour missions when they were removed from the game. While I'm still not happy that those missions have been removed, I'm extremely happy to see new exotic missions being introduced. Presage is an excellent addition to the list of secret missions within Destiny 2. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend going in blind and finding your way through it. Once the normal version of the mission is completed, a higher difficulty version is unlocked and you can earn the Dead Man's Tale Catalyst by completing it. If you've made it this far, please consider dropping a like and subscribing for more Destiny 2 content. In my last video, I mentioned how some weapons were no longer available to obtain within the game. The one example I mentioned was the Felwinter's Lie shotgun. In an effort to completely invalidate the information in that previous video, Bungie added Felwinter's Lie to the exotic kiosk within the tower. With enough materials, you can now purchase the gun, as well as Whisper of the Worm and Outbreak Perfected. I think this was a good change, as I imagine it really sucked to keep getting killed by Felwinter's Lie in the Crucible, all the while knowing you couldn't actually acquire this weapon if you missed it the first time around. Another change from my previous video is on the subject of exotic catalysts. Once Bungie removed activities like the Leviathan raid from the game, it was no longer possible to obtain catalysts tied to that activity like the catalyst for Legend of Acreus. Bungie has now updated the drop location for many of the previously unobtainable catalysts. For example, the Sleeper Simulant and Legend of Acreus catalysts can now be obtained via Nightfall completions. The only two catalysts that are still unobtainable are for Whisper of the Worm and Outbreak Perfected. In the February 4th TWA, Bungie mentioned that these catalysts will be added in a future update. If you're ever lost on how to obtain a catalyst, just highlight the entry within the Exotic Catalyst lore page and it will give you an idea on where to earn it. To close out this video, I want to make mention of the biggest news for Destiny 2 in quite a while. I was trying to avoid including a lot of future news within the video, but I actually had to rewrite a part of my script due to Bungie's update on February 25th. I originally wrote that there was no reason to get Felwinter's lie from the kiosk in the tower since it was set to hit the power cap this season and would be under level as of the next season. This obviously is no longer true as Bungie has announced that weapon and armor sunsetting is being removed from the game. As long as the weapon or armor hasn't hit the power cap yet, it will be available to use going forward without capping. This means that great weapons from previous years like the Recluse are still capped, but guns like Felwinter's Lie or the 7th Seraph weapons will not be capped. Warmind sells for life, baby. I really didn't expect sunsetting to last forever, but I never expected them to revert the change so quickly after implementing it. I personally think this is fantastic news, and I'm relieved to see Bungie making changes that doesn't involve taking away things that you've worked so hard to earn. Sure, they may have some idea in mind that turns out to be worse than sunsetting. I'm choosing to remain positive and hopeful for the future of Destiny 2 based on Bungie listening to the community and stepping back from unpleasant ideas like sunsetting. I think there's still a lot to look forward to in Destiny 2's future.